I am joined by, as you can see if you're into rugby, two very famous faces, Pierre Schoeman and Duhan van der Merwe, and we're here to talk not about rugby, about whisky, something which is great on this freezing cold day to warm you up. So guys, for anyone that doesn't know, how did this all come about?
It's quite cool. Thanks, Rosa, as well, for the incredible work you've done. Yeah, now having this podcast and interview at EH3 Studios. But yeah, me and Duhan, we go a long way back. We played SA under 18, as we mentioned to you. We roomed together for the first time.
Back in 2012 it was.
Yeah.
That was years ago.
He was basically Johnny Bravo, just like arms and then skinny legs. And when he got out of the shower, he went, hee-ha-hoo. But that's not where he drank whiskey. We came to Scotland. Edinburgh and Scotland has given us everything, and we might get into that later. But then we decided, he's played 50 caps for Scotland. I played 40-something. Why aren't we doing something to give back to the friends, fans and families? And he actually invested in whiskey casks.
Yeah, so before we kind of started this, we kind of started investing into whiskey casks here and there. And then did a couple of that. Pierre then over lockdown started his own like biltong and droevors meat kind of company.
Yeah, dried meat, dried meat, yeah.
And that went really well.
Yeah, I guess
you want to touch on that.
Yeah, that's we actually learned a lot, me and my wife, Carissa, about this. And we knew Duhan and his wife, Nika. So with that experience, we just said, like, I love Scottish things. Like, we love lochs, castles, Highland goose, and then, of course, rugby and whiskey and bagpipes and everything Scottish. And we said, well, why don't we do something? And I think at the Audium, we had like a whiskey tasting with famous grouse, which was cool. And that planted the seed. Instead of seeing it as competition, why don't you share the admiration of, let's share this beautiful Scotch whiskey with the rest of the world. And then, we met some incredible people, David Whiteford, that went to Hong Kong, and he had a lot of experience with whiskey. He's actually the cousin of Luke and Tom Stoltman. And I met him for a coffee and I said, look, me, Duhan, Hamish, Watson, there's a few boys in the team. We always want to do ideas. Like, we had lingerie ideas.
You had a lot of ideas
Plus
over like a year or two.
And maybe for
the stuff you came up
the
with.
models, the backline players. But then we decided, let's do the whiskey. And we partnered with Luke, Heron and Bevy. And we did 2 limited releases. Within a few days, it was quick. Yeah. We had to make a decision to be brave.
It happened... probably happened within kind of a week.
Yeah.
Like, I think Pierre met up with David Whiteford on, I think it was maybe the Wednesday. We played Italy away for Six Nations on the Saturday. This is after myself and Pierre had the conversation about, doing something with whiskey, but kind of didn't know where to start. He met up with David on Wednesday. We then played Italy on Saturday away. We lost.
Yeah.
And we had to make a decision kind of by Sunday if we want to go ahead with this, because we obviously kind of, with David and the people he kind of knew, met the right people to get this going ASAP. So funny enough, initially I said no, because, you kind of just came off the pitch, we lost, and I guess kind of took 24 hours to kind of think about it and know that, this job that we love to do at the moment, it's not going to be there forever, although Pierre thinks he's going to play till he's 50. So, kind of looking back at it, what's it now? It's coming up to almost,
a year and a few months. Yeah.
It's kind of the best decision we've made. And look, it's not easy at times. I don't think people really know how invested we are. I think maybe people think, we're just the face of it and we've got everyone else doing all the other bits. No, it's not like that. I always complain to Pierre because I like my days off. My days off are Wednesdays, and I don't have that anymore. So that's been taken away from me. But no, it's been brilliant, and we'll touch on more of that. But yeah, no, it's been unbelievable.
I think Duhan said it so well. The only thing I would add is, after that Italy game, like Duhan said, we felt like, no, you let the fans and the country and the nation down, so focus on rugby. But the thing is, we never prep or is distracted by prepping to win and to achieve and to play. So we took our big boy pants, we put that on and we were brave and said, listen, rugby is the main thing for us now, like our faith and our family. But then rugby is the main thing and will forever be while we play. But like Duhan said, we have so many off hours. Like some boys like gaming or golfing. Some people have 4 children, and that takes like so much energy and time as well. We don't have children yet. We have a competition going. Who's going to get a child first? We're very competitive. So that's why we decided, let's go for it. And as Duhan mentioned, we did one limited release. So that's how Duhan said we're quite involved. We did a limited release. We were flying to South Africa for Edinburgh, and we posted the social media, and I think within 5 minutes it was sold out.
230 bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we kind of didn't know what was going on. We just literally finished up with Six Nations and then had to fly to South Africa for the URC, playing for Edinburgh. And David at the time said, look, before you guys leave, you have to post this on your socials. We posted that, and then I think we had a stopover in Doha.
Yeah.
And as we landed, everything was kind of sold out. And we were like, wow, this is unbelievable. And I guess that's where we were kind of like, there's much more to do for us in the whiskey industry. And
then we did another limited release for the I Love Festival timing, where we had summer test going on in the US, Canada, and I think Uruguay and Chile. We had the whiskey going on, and that was sold out as well. Not in 5 minutes, but I think a half an hour or 40 minutes. Another 200 and something, 30, 50 bottles.
The first one was a blend, which I really enjoyed. And the second one was a peaty whiskey, which is probably not my favorite, but
I liked it a lot.
Scoomy likes it a lot. So, you kind of have your single malt, your blend, your peaty whiskey, which some people like, especially now with it being so cold outside. But
and then after those two, we sold it as a ballot on Bevy app, and it did so well that now we had cash flow to work with. So already as founders, David and Luke and everyone helped us to learn that now you've created cash flow, now you can scale. And we said, look, the demand, we have to get our own whiskey. Like, we can't just do ballots. We'll still do limited releases, but we have to do our own one. And that's when we we sourced the Hirundine single malt from Speyside, the 12-year-old. And it's unchilled, filtered. It's 46% ex-bourbon casks. He's our notes guy, so he can take you through the notes.
Notes of vanilla and honey. There you go, I'm the notes guy. But
Duhan can now type an email, he's the notes guy. He tackles and attacks invoices as well.
But it was quite interesting because we had a couple of kind of different samples to taste at the time, and was kind of getting to all agree on what is a brilliant liquid. So we were very involved with choosing this liquid as well.
And something I would touch on is, so Carissa and Nika, they're the marketing and creative, as you founding directors with us, our wives. They actually designed the label. It's like a home and away rugby jersey. So we're using our rugby influence to basically get the whiskey brand out there, but it's not a rugby whiskey. It's bottled for everyone going against the grain, like going to a different country, going for a different challenge, almost like a salmon swimming up against the grain. And then we came up with the bird Hirundine, which you pronounce so nicely. It's a type of swallow that semi-migrates between destinations, like our story. But like many people's story, they're one of the best house builders, like their mud houses. So like build companies, build families. Then spreading the wings is, we want to join people with flights, so hospitality, distribution, wholesale, fulfillment, media outlets. We love people joining the flight, and we're going to take this Hirundine probably to every continent. We're going to export to the US, to India, South Africa, France, Italy, to name a few, Hong Kong. But we want to look after Edinburgh and Scotland and Glasgow first as our lighthouse cities, the Borders, the Highlands, and then maybe London. And we met incredible people along the journey so far.
Yeah, it wasn't easy at the start, two local players that I would say kind of didn't know much about whiskey when we just started. And we were brutally honest at the start. We said that, we're no experts by any means, but, it's been It's been 18 months, 20 months now, and we've kind of learned a lot, which is weird because I go home now and drink whiskey, whereas beforehand I probably drank brandy or rum and coke. But kind of just to touch on, the company name, Against the Grain, kind of what that means for us is, coming from South Africa, we had a lot of challenges and we kind of had to go against the grain, kind of leave a lot behind, come to a country that you don't really know much of. And like I mentioned, I moved over in 2017 and I got a message from Pierre in 2017 December, and he asked me, what's it like? And I said, it's a brilliant place. The people are lovely. It is challenging at times, because it was only myself and my wife. And funny enough, when I just moved over, didn't really speak much English, because back in South Africa, I just spoke Afrikaans. So, coming back to that, there was a lot of challenges, and it was kind of never easy. I remember the first day I landed was summer, and I just couldn't really believe what was going on. And I just thought, it must just be a bad day. And it was going on for a week, 2 weeks, and I was like thinking to myself, how is this summer? So yeah, there's been a lot of challenges for us over the last couple of years, and it's just kind of coming back to that, if you just keep on grinding away and, keep on working hard and, if you're passionate about something and you fully believe you can do it, then, why not?
I think that was a surreal moment of what Duhan said is what was a thought about a year and a bit ago. We had 5 weeks off after our British and Irish Lions tour, which it was his second tour, my first one. And I'm going to do everything I can to, in 2029, to do it again, to achieve it again. You can see the faith in Duhan as well. It was just amazing for me. But after that tour, we had 5 weeks off and we actually sacrificed some of our holiday. You have to train and stay fit and recover. But a big moment for me was we met with Waitrose headquarters in London. David, Nika, Carissa, myself and Dewey. And we met with John Vine and they gave us the green light for 2026 May to be in Waitrose nationwide. So that's what Duhan says. If you just have passion for something like this and you actually just have the discipline, not really motivation, but the discipline to do it, every hour we have off, rugby first, and then this, you learn so much. And the people we meet, like now, you guys, the media, the news, but people like, we've done a bottle for the Stoltmans, Luke and Tom Stoltman, the world's strongest brothers, 3-time world's strongest man, and top 10 world's strongest man brothers. The new More 42 from Invergordon, their opa, their grandpa, is the inspiration behind that. Then one for Avery. They do all the World War II projects, etc. They're friends with Jeremy Clarkson as well, and they work close with him, and they live next to Guy Ritchie or something. But yeah, Jim, we've done a bottle for them, and now we're going to do it every year with them. So we're going to focus on our own whiskey, Hirundine, but through Against the Grain, we can still create bottles, memories, legacies for people, individuals, companies as well. But our range will be our core. Like this liquid for us is flawless. That's our flex. It's not the bottle we sourced, the wax dip, the Against the Grain rugby haggis looking bottle. It's the liquid. We're the most proud of the liquid, and I think definitely 2026 will bring out another 1, 2 or 3 ranges. We'll definitely do 18-year-old. And we have to have the sweet spot, like Duhan said, not just our names to a product, but it has to be some of the best liquid. We want to be famous for that. That we didn't know anything about entrepreneurship, founding companies, serial entrepreneurs, and whiskey specialists. I don't think you're ever a whiskey specialist, except McLean, Charlie McLean. But yeah, we're gonna pursue this head on after rugby, and we want to make sure the ground foundation was solid before you go too far and too quick.
I guess, yeah, it's like you say, we took some time sourcing the right liquid because, we didn't want people just to think that, we just using our faces and our names and kind of just put it to a bottle and an average liquid. I think, you know, we took about 4 or 5 months to source the right liquid, and like Pierre just mentioned, you know, we are planning on maybe potentially doing an 18-year-old, potentially a 21. You know, the sky's the limit, and you know, we'll take our time to make sure that, you know, we do source the right liquid, because it's important for us that, you know, you know, it's all about the liquid inside. Yes, it's a brilliant story as well, but you know, you don't want to pay £75 for a bottle of whiskey and, you know, the liquid inside's not great. So, and that's the most important thing for us, and that's something we're really proud of. You know, people that don't really know much about rugby coming up to us and saying, "Oh, you know, your whiskey is brilliant," and it's a very proud moment for us.
And it stands out, like in a bar or a venue, the unique bottle. Like we say it's a rugby ball or like a bird cage for the Hirundine, and it's against the grain. And then something subtle is in the Hirundine, it's a 1 and 11. It's our rugby positions on the pitch, so that will forever be. And also in against the grain is the 1 and 11. So that's something catchy that we're trying to. That's Carissa Nika.
It's not our brains. No.
We have to make sure we play 1 and 11 and not 17 and 23. That's our main goal.
And what about whiskey in South Africa? Is it quite a big thing? Did you guys kind of grow up around it, or not really?
To be honest with you, no. I guess, you know, a lot of people in South Africa drink brandy and Coke. It's kind of, I would say, a little bit similar to cognac over here. You know, you have it with Coke, and I guess there was an odd occasion. You know, I saw my dad have some whiskey, but not often. And I think only over maybe the last 5 years, 6 years, you kind of hear a lot more about South Africans, you know, starting to drink whiskey. Yeah. And I don't know if it was the same with you.
Yeah,
growing up.
I agree with you. Like beer and brandy is probably up there. But if people go hunting and fishing and they want to have like an exclusive event, like at a hotel or a beach club or a sky bar, they'll have their Johnny Walker, blue, red. They've got the sweet spot there. We've done the experience. It's amazing as well. And want to be part of sharing that experience of the world. And they had the sweet spot of you can have it neat, on the rocks, or in a cocktail. And that's something that we wanted with this is it's quality enough to be neat, on the rocks. But also like for a lot of the female customers, they love having it like even an espresso martini, a whiskey sour, old fashioned. It's a good premium mixer. But like Duhan said, in South Africa, interestingly enough, stats don't lie. Statistically, whiskey is the biggest spirits seller in South Africa. But it is a brandy driven. But the most sales in spirits industry in South Africa is still whiskey. But I would say, like Duhan said, the exclusive premium whiskey, there is a market for it. But I feel only in the last few years it's been
kind of been,
like Glenfiddich, Glenfarclas, Macallan, Hirundine.
Before that, I just kind of always saw people drinking VAT 69.
Yeah.
Was it VAT 69 or
Bells, Jameson.
Yeah, Jameson.
Sometimes a famous grouse.
Yeah.
It looks very Scottish as well.
Yeah. That's the other one, Scottish Leader.
Yeah, Scottish Leader, yeah.
But yeah, it's only over the last couple of years it's kind of, you know, started to like pick up and like probably a wee bit more premium, I would say.
But whiskey has picked up in South Africa in the regards that Duhan touched on. There's whiskey distilleries now in South Africa. If it's a handful, let's say 10, but it's picked up now, like especially the grain whiskies, etc. They're having fun as well, and also malts. But nothing will ever be a Scottish single malt, especially from Speyside.
Yeah.
Oh, is that your favourite?
Yeah, so at the moment, we're trying to focus on all our Scottish single malt will be Speyside. And we don't disclose the distillery because with Against the Grain, we might go in a route of Against the Grain might be our, you know, Diageo, Bacardi. You can do various things. It's a culture movement as well, a premium culture movement with, you can add merchandise or events. You can, who knows, maybe we can, you know, join the Sip Seekers and Bevy and we do the Edinburgh in Scotland, the world's biggest whiskey festival on the planet. Why not? You know, the sky's the limit. There is no bar for us. And we're fully submerged and involved with this. And I think this gives us a lot of energy. Like we can play full out now for another 9 years and 8 years.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
So you've talked about you like Speyside, and we've mentioned different brands, and the famous grouse just reminds me of when they sponsored the Scotland Top a million years ago when I was young. Were you influenced by any of that, or did you just go on your own personal taste of what you wanted to bottle? Because you started off with a blend. Was that like a specific decision that you wanted a blend, or was it just kind of what was available? Or
that was actually, so Laurie from Bevy helped us a lot with that. He gave us a few options. And we always flex. We say there was a bit of Macallan in there, but then some people have tasted the Hirundine and said they think this is a Macallan distillery, which we don't give answers to. But it's a really good whiskey. But that first one was quite strong as well. I believe it was 55 or 56% as well, which was, a lot of people loved that. But like Duhan said, the second one, the Isla one, we actually had plans to go to the Isla Festival with a helicopter as a surprise guest, because there's people from China and Russia and America and all over the world buying all the whiskies, and then we walk around selling our whiskey like as a joke, but also seriously. But then we had to go summer tour, and as I say, rugby gets first priority. But I would say, to be quite honest with you, we were no whiskey connoisseurs or experts by any means. We know everything about our Hirundine 12-year-old. We already sourced 4 or 5 different options for our Hirundine 18-year-old, and possibly, like Duhan said, 21-year-old. He does more of the tastings. Otherwise, I get into an arm wrestle with him, and we know how that goes.
Yeah, you lose.
I was going to say, how does that go?
He loses to a back. He loses to a back.
Yeah. I'm actually left-handed, I'm joking.
So obviously we've talked about you're very involved with your wives in this whole business. Do you guys have a favourite place to go and eat and drink in Edinburgh or Scotland? Whiskey bar, restaurant?
I know what his favourite is. Yeah.
Dean Banks and Tom Kitchen. Okay, my favourite is Fazenda. The all-you-can-eat meat, the premium meat. And our whiskey's in there as well, so it's a perfect combo. What's your favourite? But now,
I don't know, I guess.
Now we got Maki and Ramen is quite up there.
Yeah, I enjoy that.
My wife loves Maki and Ramen the most, I would say.
I guess that's actually the nice thing, whenever we meet with whoever it might be, a new restaurant, a bar, whatever it might be, we always chat about the whiskey, try and get the whiskey stocked in there. We also have food there. So I guess, what's my favourite? My favourite would probably...
Your favourite?
My favourite would probably always be, I don't know, a steak and something. Yeah. That's probably my favourite. But that's the nice thing about the Wednesdays. We do put in some work, but you look forward to a nice meal with Pierre, and he likes to order a lot of food. So
and it's nice, like Duhan says, sometimes we meet people, if it's a meeting at Glen Eagle's townhouse, we have a great relationship with them there, and they have great food, and then our whiskey's in there as well. But that's like premium meetings, you're probably used to those environments where we look like radio faces when we walk in there. It looked like we just came from the gym. And then like favourite pubs, it's difficult to single out a few, but like we had fun at Scotsman's Lounge Pub with Cammy Barnes, the singer. And then Finn, the owner, we good pals with him. He was at the Lions tour as well, and we had fun. But it's difficult to single it out. But yeah, Tom Kitchen, Dean Banks, we see them quite often and a lot. All Dean Banks' venues like Haar, and it's just brilliant. And then other places, we stay in the Kimpton a lot for the Scotland stuff. So on the Baba menu, and we're still speaking to Lila.
Tiger Lily, that does the cocktails. Back in my day, that used to be the place I go to after a game. I still go there from time to time, but I don't go there every weekend, obviously, anymore. As you get a wee bit older, can't be bothered being hungover the next morning. But we absolutely love that. Love Tiger Lily, and we always have kind of, area kind of blocked off for us after a game.
Where else? Cooltown House, Queen Arms, Tiger Lily
There's
is
so
up
many
there.
places we can mention. There's so many. So
Yeah, even Scots at South Queens Ferry from Buzzworks. That's a great venue. People love going there, and it's a stunning view. And they have excellent food as well. We're trying to do more stuff with Buzzworks, as in like Troon and Glasgow. We get Sione and them for like a £5 appearance fee.
no, I'm not. Sione will do it for free.
Sione will do it for free.
100%. I'm not paying that, man.
We have to pay you Jones now because he's sponsorships left, right, and centre
Yeah.
without playing even.
And so we're sitting here, it's sort of early January, you guys will be heading into the Six Nations really soon. How do you balance things like a wee dram with training? Is it completely off the cards or can you...
That's an excellent question. I would start by saying rugby is quite a big drinking culture. Like you look after the body, but it's not like football where in the season you don't drink at all. Like after a great win, it's always a beer or celebrate, almost like Vikings, sing a song, get the testosterone up, and then you blow the cobwebs away on a Monday. You do your recovery on a Sunday. I go to church, pray for Duhan and the business, pray for him while he sleeps. And then we'll do like sauna, stretching. On a Monday, you get through the movement again. Yeah, rugby is like that. And fair, that's how the tradition is. So we try to limit, obviously we don't drink during the week.
No, not at all. But if we do go for a nice dinner, I don't mind having a glass of red wine with my dinner. Or
if someone makes us a cocktail.
If we meet up with someone on a Wednesday, and they've got 3 different cocktails that they're making, and we kind of have to taste all 3 of them. I have to taste it to say, which one we think is the best. I'll have a wee sip here and there.
Agreed.
Or sometimes, when I have to have a wee dram with someone, I'll just ask for a little bit. But and there's
A really important thing you asked is, how do we balance it with rugby? It's like I said, we're really knackered in between sessions and after games, but we have a lot of hours off. But that's where David, Carissa, Nika, and now we actually got our first staff member as well, Landy, helping us with the invoices and the stuff that only that brain can think of.
Well, your brother has been helping you non-stop for the last 6 weeks, so I hope you'll be paying him out of your own pocket and not ADG.
We flew Neil from South Africa to help us in this period now, and that's come off Duhan's shareholding invoice system.
No, that's not your pocket.
But the quite significant thing is about the team is, we met with incredible business people like Stevie Lip, Sir Bill Gamble, speaking to Sir David Murray a bit, Rangers fans. Don't be angry at us. I'm a heart, he's a Yibi. Because he loves money, I love people.
No.
I'm just saying that.
Hip's been on fire, mate.
And that's a good banter we have.
Watched the game 2 weeks ago.
I know Hips is on fire.
You saw what happened.
But he always sit at the posh sheets, you know what I mean? I go hard, Koensel, let's go. But we have a lot of banter with that. But yeah, we meet incredible people, and what we've learned is, year 1 as founders and entrepreneurs of this, we broke even. And that's quite significant strides for us as a whiskey startup in today's age. In the industry, single malt.
Such a difficult market.
Yeah.
Especially like it's people were probably saying at the time, what are you two doing? You don't know much about whiskey, and you're coming into a market that, that's it's going to be so hard. And, when we kind of look back at the last 18 months, I think what we've achieved has been unbelievable, and there's so much more to come. So much more to come.
With that, we have 2 stories that we always share. One is the dolphin technique. So we don't take away from other brands and stuff. We go fish where they fish, and that's where the fish is. And we go, hey McKellen, yes, that's an excellent fish. Hey Glenfiddich, that's a brilliant fish. Yes, hey Glenfarclas, look at our nice fish. Diageo, Bacardi, we're all supportive, all the whiskey societies, people are very supportive in the single malt and the whiskey industry in Scotland and globally. And I think for us, year 1, we broke even, and year 2, our projections for 2026 will be profitable. So that's very luring in the fish story, for us as well. But the other story is our dolphin technique. So at the moment, we got into this, like Duhan said, as dolphins, and then you have to hold on a fin a bit to gain momentum. But now we've gained such
We need to come up with this, if I may ask, this dolphin thing.
significant momentum that all of a sudden, if someone like Duhan and Shui wants to get into whiskey, they can hold on to our fin a bit to gain that momentum to help them. So that's what we help. We need help up the mountain, but we help people up as well, and that's good for us. Like we learn, we grow, but we also give back.
And I need to ask this because I'm a massive rugby fan and I come and watch you guys. Do you think you'll be drinking some of this out of the Calcutta Cup in a few weeks' time? I really hope so.
That's a good question. I would just be honest and say, stats and history don't lie. If one plays, we win.
No.
That's literally, genuine, for 4 years going. No. Man of the match, hat-trick. So one thing that we must tell you is, one of our friends, a serial entrepreneur, Luke Heron, one of the best people we've met. We're friends now. He's a great character. He watched the game with David at Murrayfield, and when I carry the ball, and I say this humbly, yet confidently, I have to carry better and further. But when I carry, the whole stadium goes shoo.
Yeah.
And when Duhan carries, he scored. So he scored a hat-trick that day. That was the game before we lost against Italy, the start of the Six Nations. It was at Murrayfield.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, were you there? Okay, so Duhan scored a hat-trick and they shooed me. And Luke Heron said, who's these two? And David said, those are the two that I'm going to have coffee with that wants to do the whiskey stuff. And he was like, well, let's do it. Because he was like, why is that? And so everything aligned perfectly. So yeah, that's quite cool.
Yeah, no, hopefully we'll be able to drink some whiskey afterwards. I think looking at our squad and our depth, and you look at a guy like Jamie Dobie that's been playing for Glasgow. He's been unbelievable. So there's been tough competition over the last 5-6 years,
which is healthy.
Which is very healthy. Kind of look at the autumn. It was the first time in my career playing for Scotland that I got dropped, which was challenging at the time, but also very exciting coming up to the Six Nations, because you've got a lot of wingers that is performing and playing really well. So that'll be the exciting part, is trying to get into the match 23, which is the most important thing, and that's very exciting.
I definitely think a win, yes.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
I believe it firmly that we'll drink Hirundine from the Calcutta Cup.
And I think if the football shows you anything, the crowd, I feel like the football crowd when Scotland won against Denmark was like everyone believed they were going to do it. And so I think when you're in that mindset as a crowd, because as a Scotland supporter, you're always a bit like, you guys have been great for years, but the football team's not been so good.
I understand, yeah.
Yeah, you need the whole
you need the faith behind you.
Yeah.
And when the bus comes in, we always say it doesn't matter if you have malaria or you'll be up for it energetically to prove for every lad and lassie in the crowd, let's do it.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add that I've not asked you about whiskey, rugby, life?
Minis.
Oh yeah, we're going to do the miniatures. That's quite cool, and it's going to be the exact same bottle as ours. That's why it took a while. So we're going to do the minis, and then if you have a 12, 18 and a 21-year-old, so we will forever make this 12-year-old, and now we're going to add the 18, possibly 21-year-old, and possibly even a really premium 38-year-old Speyside or a 40-year-old Speyside, something like that. And I think that's going to sell out before we even market it, just by our network. But we're in over 500 venues in Scotland, so if you go to bars, venues, enjoy the Hirundine. Let us know what you think. We would love to, on comments or anything on social media or emails or whatever. That's our biggest flex. We're not in this just to make money. He loves money. I love people. So for the people, enjoy it, and then Duhan will make sure we make money. But it's really for the enjoyment of, this is our whole life's work in a bottle, and for many people to celebrate. Like when you watch rugby, Six Nations, high end, at your house, whatever, enjoy the whiskey, let us know what you think. And yeah, we're not just here to sell Hirundine, we're here to sell anything's possible if you believe, achieve, and have the passion for it. And also, thoughts becomes things. Like our careers has led us into this whiskey, and now we're really proud of it. And as entrepreneurs, we meet amazing people to do business. So that's something we don't take light-heartedly, like distribution, fulfillment, hospitality for the love of the guest. That's what that means, actually. We learn a lot, and we love what we do. But for now, rugby is still the main priority, and people love that.
Can we get a hot toddy bar out in Murrayfield, please? Because it's always freezing.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
It's cold.
Well, thank you very much, guys. It's been lovely to meet you and chat, and good luck with the upcoming season and the whisky.
Thank you, Roseanne, for the incredible job you're doing in the Scotland food and drink industry. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.